this is inside my dad's collection. I'm either getting the fig reviews or collections in the feed, or getting reactions in the feed. I guess they see what I'm watching or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's a huge collection. Like every shelf is filled. Ain't no empty shelves back there. Look like.
Hi guys, it's Cindy McKenna from Cindy M. Cardoso, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about collectors. Every collector has a journey and why they started collecting, where they started collecting, but today that won't be about me. It'll be about the man himself and his collection, my father. You know, he's the true reason why I started collecting, and his collection, it's like stepping into a time machine. There's a different piece from every decade, every part of his life, and it's so inspiring. So let's talk about why he started collecting, where he started collecting, and how it brought us closer together. And let me know in the comments who inspired you to start collecting and why. The biggest question I continue to get is, whose collection is this? Is it your collection? Is it your father's collection? And while I address this in my very first
That'll take
video,
some years, all
I would
that
love
stuff
to
back
dive
there.
deeper and talk about our relationship and collecting. So to answer that question, the vast majority of what I show on this channel is my father's.
That's the violator.
However, I have
Spawn.
managed to add some select pieces over the years. I'm very fortunate that my father collects a little bit of everything that I love, and I get to reap those benefits. And I learned a lesson from a long time ago that it's better to have two different things than it is to have two of the same. However, like I shared in my top 10 Autobots, we do have two of the same molds of Cosmos, but he was just too cute to not have. The second most asked question I get is, why doesn't your dad show his collection? Why are you the one to show? And you know what? That's a really great question. It all started about a year ago. I was first starting out on my TikTok, and I found a trending audio. So I snapped a few videos around of the collection room, and I showed him how cool it was, not with the intention to post it. But then I did ask, well, what are your thoughts about me posting it? You know, my father has never really shown anyone his collection outside of a few people. And he said, you know what? Sure, post it. That night, the video went viral. I showed my dad the comments on the video and how everyone was wanting to see more of the collection. And he said, you know what? This is ours. Of course you can. Fast forward a year later, and here we are. Now let's get to meet the man himself, my father. And while he does prefer to remain off camera, I did convince him to do a talking portion of this video. Tell me, when did you first start collecting?
I started collecting in the late 70s. It wasn't so much collecting as I was a small child playing with toys. But luckily, I was able to save most of my toys since childhood.
Love it. Can you show us some of those toys?
Happy to.
So I know this.
Now that's rare there. He's kind of like Timmy Toys. This man's probably been collecting since the 80s. He's a little bit older than me, but yeah, he keeping stuff from 30-something years ago. That's hard, because you know, you move around, you pack up stuff gets lost, stuff gets thrown out, stuff gets thrown out. Don't even want to think about it. And you know the rest.
This is one that you had from your childhood growing up. Can you tell me a little bit more about this
That
one?
Centurion thing?
Yeah, it's from a line of toys called Exo Squad.
Oh, it's Exo.
It had
That's not
cartoons,
Centurions. Exo.
Everything in the 80s did.
I'm thinking the
figures
Centurion.
were similar in size to Mask, just with a more futuristic, robotic,
Oh, yeah.
aliens versus humans kind of theme.
Look at the Dino
And
Riders.
it's one of the toy lines that I think was just way ahead of its time.
Okay, and I asked you to share some obscure toys from your childhood. What can you tell me
Oh,
about
Spectre,
these?
Scepter, whatever the thing they're called.
Yeah, they're from a toy line called Sectors.
Scepter, yeah.
And
I remember
it
those.
was insectoid humanoids. You had the good guys.
Those could stay
more
there,
like
not them, but the
insects.
vehicles.
The good guys.
Riding around on the
more
back of a
like
wasp.
humans. One of the really cool play features was they had.
I want to keep pausing it, but I remember those from the 80s in the vehicles. Okay, riding on a wasp or a black hornet's back. Know about that with the fur on it and everything. And if you've seen them up close, they look real. Know about the giant bee, the giant black wasp coming at you. No, no about that. The figures are all right. I like the figures.
Larger insect mounts that they could ride, and the legs were a hand puppet. So you'd put your hands in, and they could act like the legs, and then you'd have buttons that you could push and flap wings.
Was there another toy line from your childhood that you really liked or made an impression on you?
G.I. Joe.
There you go.
Every young boy
There you
loved
go.
G.I.
We
Joe.
fight for freedom
The
against
military
Cobra, the enemy.
figures against the evil Cobra. It was
Cobra was
fantastic.
dirty, boy.
Okay, so you're known as the man on the internet with the
me get that back.
Transformers collection.
I gotta get that
What
back.
you
Okay, let me get that back a little bit. Hold on.
liked or made an impression on you?
G.I. Joe. I think
Now, I know these ain't the original. I heard G.I. Joe goes back to the 60s or 70s. But these are the ones I had. Let me see. But only that's Jinx. I had Jinx, Lowlight. That's Snake Eyes, Gung Ho. I forgot this guy's name. That guy in the back, I had him. See, Quick Kick back there, and forgot that guy with the beard. Yeah, but I had most of these. Let me see.
every young boy loved G.I. Joe.
Yep, that's Beachhead. That's Flint or Falcon? I think that's Flint. That's what is his name? Roadblock. That's General. I think that's General Hulk. Yeah, I had a lot of them, boy. I'll never forget. Okay, trading those back and forth. That was getting ridiculous. Trading them to the point where you couldn't trade them no more. Wish I still had them. Had a crate full of them things.
You had military figures against the evil Cobra. It was fantastic.
Okay,
Shit,
so you're
right,
known as
yep.
the man on the internet with the Transformers collection.
Of course, the
What's how you
Transformers.
first started into Transformers, or why do you love them so much?
Well, I played with the Generation 1s as a kid, and I walked into a Walmart one day and saw Star
That's
Wars
Star Wars.
Transformers.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that's Star Wars.
And I
Yeah, you
had
got
to
the
have
mashup.
So I bought one, which turned into almost all of those. So after getting into Cybertron, I realized that the Star Wars crossovers weren't made that well, but I loved the Cybertron figures. They were bulky, blocky, they would stand the test of time. After I completed most of Cybertron, I went and started looking for the ones I had missed. Energon, Armada, Robots in Disguise, and a passion was born.
So tell me a little bit about the toy lines
That
that you
collection.
collect.
Serious.
Well, I collect a little bit of everything. Love stuff from NECA.
I have that Harley
They
Quinn, but
do
it's
some of
McFarlane.
the more obscure lines. I collect Marvel Legends, DC. DC keeps changing who's making them.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to start over with the main characters every few years.
Well, I know you collect a lot. We can't collect it all. So what are some of your favorite things you're collecting right now?
Right now, Mezco. It's 1/12 scale. They're just excellent. Each one
I've heard of
is
those.
kind of Mezco's own version. The second thing I'm really into is Hot Toys. Specifically Hot Toys.
Those are expensive,
that are
boy.
Star Wars. I collected the Black
Boba Fett.
Series, still do, but you can't get better than the 1/6 scale.
Okay, but you have to have at least one current favorite line. What would that be?
Hands down, Mythic Legions. They are a fantasy line. They're not tied to
I've heard of
anything.
them.
It's a creation of the Four Horsemen, and they are fantastic. You can customize them. They come out with such great figures. You have elves and orcs and goblins.
It's a big
and
dude
no one
back
else
there.
is doing that. These are fantastic.
Agreed.
Out of the hundreds that they've released, I am missing 5.
Last and final question. As a grown man, why action figures?
Well, part of it's nostalgia.
Oh, there we
Part of it
go.
is I think that action figures are a form of art, and it's come such a long
Got to
way.
run that back. I'm sorry.
Grown man, why action figures?
Well,
Okay. Had that Sergeant Slaughter. Gung Ho in his suit. I think his name is Cross Country. Storm Shadow. See Falcon back there. Cobra Commander. When he had to get that whole suit and the breathing tube. And Thanks, see Dr. Mindbender.
Part of it's nostalgia.
Yep, Dr. Mindbender and the Twins, Crimson Guard, Televiper, had all of them. Just bringing it back now, taking it back.
I think that action.
Major Blood, Serpentor, Barbecue. What's this guy's name? Firefly, Destro, the Destroyer.
Figures are a form of art.
Cobra Commander, yeah.
Such a long way over the last few decades.
Also animated turtles.
And it's just pure. It's fun. It's wholesome. I love it.
As you guys can tell, my father is very passionate about his collection. And it's not just stuff, it's his passion and what he enjoys to do. And honestly, one of the coolest things about my life is being able to enjoy that with him. Again, let me know in the comments when you guys first started collecting or why you first started collecting. We would love to hear it. And let me know if any of you guys agree with my father. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in next video. Bye!
That dude's collection, something. She's probably got like 10 or 12 display cases back there. Yeah, so he's been going back to the 70s with it. 70s and 80s, like Timmy Toys. So, yeah. Yeah, but most of that stuff collected at some point. Okay, the G.I. Joes, the Turtles, not the anime, not that he had the new ones. Some about the other Turtles, Transformers. Only thing he didn't have back there. I know he didn't have the He-Mans, the Brave Star, the Chuck Norris, and something else. Okay, Bionic 6, and I thought that vehicle was Centurions, but that wasn't that. But yeah, oh boy, that collection there is something. See, I still can't get over the Joes. That collection there is something serious.